there, welcome to episode 35 of the Performance Cafe. It's really great to have you guys here, and as I said, I've come back. I'm about a week back from leave and really feeling the buzz and the energy to get to the end of the year. I had an excellent interview with Andy Golding for this Friday's Coffee Companions on Performance Cafe. Andy's an employee experience consultant, and her motto is that work shouldn't suck. So she and I, we agree on that one, right? I like having people happy at work so that they can be more productive and perform better. And she just believes that people should be treated like humans, which is why her company that she co-founded is called Still Human. And one of the things that came out, and please join us on Friday at 11 o'clock South Africa time and see what Andy and I spoke about. We covered quite a bit of territory. But the thing that really stands out for me is that whether you speak to me, whether you speak to Andy, the message we're trying to get across is about humanity in the office. And I think that for too long we've been watching things like The Wolf of Wall Street, and we've been watching Suits, and we've got all of these cultural norms around corporates that are sort of brought to life to us in these TV series. And I think a part of it is that it starts sort of brainwashing us a little bit about what it takes to be professional and what it takes to be successful and have lots of money. And I was actually looking at a video of, I think it came up on LinkedIn from Gary Vee, where someone asked him something about being professional. And he said, why do you want to be professional? He said, be you, be authentic. He says, I did things that no one, or many people didn't agree with. He says, but the couple of people that did agree with me supported me, and that's how I got where I am. And so I'm certainly not for a revolution against professionalism. I think there's something to be said for, getting oneself ready for work and the mindset that it brings about. But at the same time, I agree with Gary Vee that, why do we have to impress? Why do we have to be this thing we're not in order to make it work? And then to come back to what I originally started talking about was, this image that we've got of this dog-eat-dog kind of world in business, where there is scarcity, where you have to be competitive, where you have to be ruthless. All of these things that it's teaching us, whether we like it or not, is that there's no place for humanity in the office. And so it's quite interesting that when I pitch my business, the words kindness, the words caring, the word support often doesn't go down very well. Because what does this mean? It means that I must stop pushing people for performance from this very money-driven, this sort of like spreadsheet-driven perspective. And I have to step in. I've got to get to know people. I've got to get close to people, understand who they are. Where do they come from? What makes them tick? How do they perform best? What works best for them? And I think that being a manager, we often have this battle of managers want to do executing work, where actually the job of a manager is to manage people. And you can't manage people if you're not in contact with them. And you can't be in contact with them if you don't understand a bit more about them. It's a terrible example, but it's the reason why you don't name animals on a farm, because it's very difficult to then have to send them to slaughter for purchase later. So why don't we want to give people at work names and faces and families and backgrounds and, hobbies and pets? Why don't we want to get to know them? So many people tell me, I don't want to have to deal with the people. Can't they just go and do their work? Well, you're a manager. That's what you get paid to do. And when we take a look at the work of Kim Scott, the author of Radical Candor, she says there's got to be caring as well as accountability. When we take a look at Brené Brown, she says clarity is kindness, but we still need to be kind in the office. We still have to be able to be vulnerable. And this morning, my message is about what we thought work would be like, what we think people think who we manage, And the age-old question, and I really love this, is if I had to work for myself, what would I think of my boss? It's quite an interesting view to flip on oneself and to see what tone am I setting, and is there place for kindness, for caring, and for positivity. It's so interesting that as a coach, as a facilitator, someone who runs team buildings, I have so much interaction with people. And so many times, in order to achieve a goal, we would set up an activity or ask the question, who was the person that made the biggest positive impact in your life? And very often it was that person, whether it be a teacher, a mentor, a manager, someone at work, maybe even a friend, maybe a role model. And if you ask them why, then they go, because they made me see the potential in myself. It's because at my moment of darkness, they showed me I could be more. I don't know if you guys have ever watched Susan David and her talk on TED. That's basically based on her book around emotional agility. And one of the things that she mentions there is that when her father passed away, very sadly from cancer, and it took a toll on the family, as these things do, there was a teacher who taught her to journal, and in journaling, she experienced her feelings. And today, she helps people have emotional agility and absorb challenges and deal with them in a productive and positive way while acknowledging that there is an issue. And that because of one person who said to her, write down your feelings and tell me what you're thinking on a piece of paper. I hope that you've enjoyed today's discussion. Well, a chat. As always, if you like this and our coffee companions, please go to our YouTube page and like and subscribe it. If you're watching from LinkedIn or if you've linked to us from Facebook, please like, share, comment. We'd like to get the word out and get as much of this information out to people so that we can make the world of work a better place. But until Friday, when you, I, and Andy will be visiting together at the Performance Cafe, I hope you have a good week and look forward to seeing you there.